Hi, Thursday, July 7th, 2016. Maneko 64 here, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Just noticed an article on Reuters, and it says, and I quote, Japan policymakers to meet on markets. Bernanke to talk with Abe. Abe is the Japanese Prime Minister. Bernanke, of course, the former chairman of the Federal Reserve. He was chairman, I think, from 2006 to 2014. So he was chairman during the financial crisis. And it says here on Reuters, separately, Bernanke, who led the Fed through the global financial crisis in 2008, will be in Japan next week. It has been arranged for him to meet with officials, including Prime Minister Abe and Bank of Japan Governor Haruhiko Kuroda, according to a government official speaking on conditions of anonymity. And separately, senior Japanese policymakers will meet on Friday to discuss, the markets and the fact that the Japanese yen is actually, very strong. As I speak right now, we're on the lows of the day at, in terms of the dollar. The dollar is 100.61 yen. We're very close to 100. And if you remember well, in the end of January, the Bank of Japan met and they surprised the world because they cut to negative interest rates. While a few weeks before, Kuroda of the Bank of Japan at the World Economic Forum said they had no plans to go to negative rates. Then he just changed his mind. And it's been kind of a watershed moment since then, because you would have expected the yen to depreciate further and the dollar to go higher against the yen. But since then, when they surprised the market and cut rates to negative, the dollar is dropped against the yen from around 120 or 122 to 100 as I speak now. So they, it completely backfired on them. And I'm just wondering because, earlier today I made a video about the law of diminishing returns and the fact that, the more credit you create, the less effect it has. And the fact that Japan has more than 200% of GDP of government debt, the fact they've been trying for decades now to get credit going with zero or very close to zero interest rates and now negative interest rates. And I said in the video, there comes a point where there's just too much debt, and there's nothing you can do. The only thing these crazy central bankers could think of doing, the next step after QE and negative interest rates, the real, nuclear option would be helicopter money. And the reason Bernanke, I talk about Bernanke in this, and I brought this up that he's going to Japan, is that he made a speech in 2002 where he talked about helicopter money, and he was referencing something written by, I think, Milton Friedman. But he's been known and, for being helicopter Ben, because he said if nothing else, if everything else fails, if zero bound doesn't work, the last resort would be helicopter money. So are the Japanese now thinking about helicopter money? Who knows? They've got the right guy to help them implement it. Not that I'm saying it's going to work. It's basically QE unsterilized. And by unsterilizing, all it means is that they just print the money and they never because for government, central banks to print money, they usually issue bonds, and then the bank, government, central banks buy bonds from banks or buy assets from banks and give them the cash. That's how QE works. But in this case, helicopter money or printing money without sterilization, they basically just create the money out of, they create the money out of thin air in QE as well, but there's no assets which they can buy back to drain the money. They just throw the money at the system. So it's the last resort, really, and it doesn't end well. You know, it's Zimbabwe-like monetary policy or Weimar Republic-like. We don't know what Bernanke is going to talk about when he goes to Japan next week, and we don't know what the Japanese officials are going to talk about tomorrow. But you know, nothing's worked for them now, and the negative interest rates completely backfired. So yeah, watch out for the monetary helicopters. They might be coming to, you know, to a place near you. At least in the land of the rising sun, they might be coming very soon. So yeah, that's out there on Reuters, and I'll put a link to that article below my video. So if you enjoyed this update, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye.